Hello, welcome everyone. This is my first live class, and as you have already know that I am Dr. Srimay Datta, and I am making content on different concepts of you can say management and commerce, where learning is really fun, it is easy, and it is very much relatable. So on that note, I am keeping my videos simple with live examples, and time to time I am uploading the shorts and videos related to commerce and management. So without further wasting any time, let's move on to today's content. And today we are actually talking about management. See, management is a term nowadays we are using here and there, now and then. And obviously, as a student of management, it is our responsibility to understand that everyone should know the basic essence of management. We cannot or we never use the term management haphazardly. It is not right. So obviously, thing is that in order to understand management, what it is and why we need management, how it works, all these things we need to know. So that is the first, you can say, concept of today's class. And for that, we are having this live classes. So let's begin with the concept management. What is it? uh, if it is possible to see the screen, I don't know if anyone is there in the live. uh, Please comment that whether you can see this word file, yes or no, then it will be helpful actually. So please let me know if it is visible. If it is no, then obviously I will start discussing, then we will eventually come to that part. Now, uh, talking about management, this term management is very interesting. We can hear this term management in our home front as well as in the organizational front. So the simple obvious question can comes into the mind that is it the same? Whether we can have this management practice or using the word management, it is all the same. If it is same, then why we need to incur lots of tuition fees or money to earn our management degree? So there is the first question that should come into our mind. In order to address this issue, we need to understand management. What is management? Now, management, if we can simply put into you can say the simplest term or the definition, management refers to the process where we can get the things done by others. That means we have certain work or assignment and we made it done not by ourselves but by others. That means we need to know who is the right person and what is the right context, what is the right background, what is the right timing to do that kind of work. So this is called management. So getting things done by others is called management. Now, this looking simple, but this thoughtful definition of management can give a very insightful understanding of management, because management is having a very nice, dynamic, multidimensional nature. Why? Because management is all about uh, continuous journey. It is continuous. It is not that today we are managing something very nicely and the moment after that we'll forget about that, but because it is already managed, so we need not to bother. No, management is not all about that. It is obviously continuous. And apart from that, management is always goal oriented. That is the basic difference, because whenever we are doing some work or managing our work in a personal life, that may have goal, may not have goal, that is not, maybe we cannot attach time, money, or return expectation something everywhere. And obviously maybe there are not employees involved in a personal front, we are managing when we are managing thing. But in the job front, in the organizational front, obviously management should be goal oriented, and it included lots of things. So while we are talking about the nature of management, first of all, it is continuous in nature, and second, it is goal oriented. So that is very important. Third one is that it must have the nature, it's called universal. That means everywhere where we are trying to do things properly, management is there. It is universal. Be in a small startup, in a micro startup, or in a medium enterprise, in a giant company like Google, Amazon, multinationals, management is always there. So it is universal in nature. Everywhere, at every point, it must be there in order to have a better management. Now, apart from that, management is multi-dimensional. That means it incur people, it incur work, it incur operations. So all these three entities, which are very much important, very much significant, that all come together, work in sequence, and create the beautiful managed process. So it is multidimensional in nature. And next, it is obviously group activity. So if we're talking about management, already I have mentioned very important significant of management, which are, I'm repeating, that is continuous in nature, goal oriented, it is universal, multidimensional, and it is a group activity. You yourself cannot manage everything, because if we are referring the definition of management, that getting things done by others, that means you need someone, or some, maybe, I mean, like a team, or maybe offices world over, to manage your things. So it is always a group activity. Apart from that, when we can manage beautifully, so it is something intangible. You cannot, you can see, or you can hold that, but obviously you can feel the well managed organization. I have one experience, because in my class I frequently ask my students that, tell me the name of some Indian companies which you feel that is a nicely managed company, or the best company in your mindset. So one company obviously comes into the answer, maybe others may vary, and that one company is called the Tata. Because the students, or maybe we all, in our perception, we feel that Tata is a very well managed company. So it's something that we feel. But it is not that we are the employee of Tata, we are working inside the, you can say, boundary of Tata company, but in the classroom also, from the outside part also, we can feel that the Tata is a well managed company, and obviously the workers, the employees who are working there, experience the management process every day, every second. For them, management is an intangible process. So this is another significant, you can say, nature or characteristics of management. For exam point of view, I just want to add one thing, that this intangible characteristics, it is somehow missed by most of the students. So if you want to have a very good, you can say, well organized answer, enriched answer about the nature of management, so you obviously include that it is one of the key features of management, that is intangibility. Right, then we are having this characteristics called dynamism, that management is very dynamic. That means it adapts. Now, change is inevitable, change is everywhere. When change happens, we need to adopt. Likewise, here in this YouTube live classes, we are adopting technology. We means you and me both. Unless and until we adopt this new technology, how can we connect? How can we update ourselves? So there are lots of avenues which we need to adopt, and all the things are changing every day. So as per the changes, we need to evolve, we need to adopt. Management helps in adopting changes. So we adopt the external environment of a business, because when we are talking about a business entity, we know that we are having two environments. One is internal and another one is external. Now, what internal environment consists of? Internal environment consists of the process, the employees, the management, workers, and all these things. But outside, we are having the uncontrollable environmental factors like social environment, we are having the economic environment, cultural environment, technological environment, the government policies are there. So in order to adopt, all the changes happen outside external environment, which is more tricky, which is more, you can say, challenging. Management helps in adopting that changes. So this is another key characteristics or nature of management. So see, management is not a matter of joke, but obviously it's very much relatable, because in our work life every day we experience management. It's very nice to understand management. Now, moving on, we can say, or we can see that one of the important, or you can say most common topic, that whether management is a science or an art. This happens everywhere. Now, the answer is, whenever you're talking about science, see, you can have all the answers in your study books, or in the, you can say, e-books and all, but to put it simple into your mind, so that in different platforms, like in interviews or in any kind of concept clearance in case, so we should have the simplest explanation into our mind, so that we can easily relate, add up with examples, elaborate our answers, right? So science and art, these two terms, most of us first actually experience or get exposed to these two terms while we are choosing our streams in 11. After 10th, we are choosing whether we are selecting the science stream or the commerce stream or the art stream or humanities, right? So in case of science and art, science means logic. It is always logical, it is always systematic, having certain kind of principles. On that principles things happen, and it is technique driven. These are the key characteristics of science. On the other hand, arts means creativity, arts means imagination, arts means your personal skill. So if we think about management, how it works, what are the basic, you can say, the foundation of management, we can find that this management is having both the characteristics of science and arts. It needs creativity, it needs skill, alongside it has some fine principles of management. You have great, well grounded theories, they are having the logic. That's why we cannot put it in one frame like management is science or management is arts. No, it is in between, it's blending these two kind of I'm not saying opposite, but two different streams into one field, and it is blending, it is multidimensional. That's beautiful, and it is very much needed for our life, for the growth of the organization. So management is science as well as an art. So this is about management. Now, what are the major functions management do? In terms of functions, actually, we can say with a simple example. Suppose you are having one study table and you are planning to organize your study table, right? So what we need to do, that first of all you need to keep a planning book or some planning into your mind. I must say that you may think about that. On my study table, on the right hand side I may put up the pen stand, on the left hand side I may put up all my copies, my books would be in that certain position. I must have some alarm clock or something, my mobile stand maybe in my study. So all these things, or maybe some planner, that is in your planning criteria in the first mode. As per your planning, you will try to collect all the things and try to organize that where to put which things, right? So for setting up one study table, you first need to plan, then you need to organize, and if you need some help, you may do involve some other people like your family member, like your mother, sister, brother, whatever is available, and who is your obedient. So that family member you will engage into organizing or setting up your study table. Okay, then you direct, you guide that, okay, you do one thing, you actually put this pen stand into the right hand, keep the long copy on the left hand side. All these things you need to guide, you need to monitor, you need to motivate them to do it properly within time frame and all that things that happens. While doing all these things, you will coordinating. If something need to be changed or something need to be replaced or new things, new whatever, you need to coordinate and communicate with all the helping hand you are having to set up your table. And if something happens like not as per your plan, deviate, something happen, then you need to correct it immediately or afterwards, maybe the no, it is not the right position. Okay, so setting up a table, I am telling the examples of management function. Like whenever you are first plan into your mind, that is called planning. When you, after planning, when you think that okay, I need this sort of thing, or maybe I need some new kind of planner or maybe new pencil stand, that is called the organizing. And whenever you are actually having some helping hand, that is called stuffing, that you have someone to help you out, stuffing. Then you are guiding, giving instruction, that is called directing. And whenever you are, while doing the work, you are actually communicating, that is called coordinating. And some deviation happens, when you correct it up, that is called controlling. So management is like that. Whenever talking about functions of management, we are having planning, we are having organizing, staffing, directing, coordinating, and controlling. So all these are the functions of management. When all these blends together, we practice management. So just keep in mind that whenever we are talking about management process and management functions, these two areas are very much relatable. That means whenever we know about the functions of management, so all these functions, when follow one after another and blended nice beautifully, that is actually the process of management. Now, why this management is important? Why are keeping our mind that we need to understand management, we need to understand the key characteristics of management, we need MBAs for having better position in the organization? Why is the rush? Why is the why management is important? Addressing this question, management is important, simple. If you are having proper planning, organizing, staffing, directing, controlling, coordinating, communicating, blah, 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 everything, that means you can achieve your goal within time. That means you are using your resources at an optimal level. Obviously you are having better efficiency and productivity. Obviously you easily adopt all the changes happens during this time. That gives you stability, growth, profitability. You can have a better motivated employee, so the internal environment will be peaceful, calm, well manageable. And obviously all these things happens inside, that obviously give an impact on the outside. In the society you can contribute with good quality products, you can generate employment. So all positive things comes out of a better management. That's why management is inevitable, management is very much essential to have a well managed, or you can say better organization. For the growth of the organization, we need management. So I hope that helps. And continuing the series of these classes, I will come again with the theories of management. Meanwhile, you can check all my videos and shorts uploaded in my channel. I hope it helps. And till then, thanks for watching this live classes. See you soon. Bye.